also offers opportunities for a direct head-to-head comparison with Leaf versus Less, which is sick because on other maps too, you'll see Leaf flex over to the duelist. But this is home territory for both teams on Lotus. KRU 4-0, G2 3-1. Who gets the better end of it first?
That's the big question, isn't it? KRU as a team, their style slowly perhaps has been getting figured out towards the tail end of the group stage. They love a good contact play.
Yeah, they started with an absolute bang, didn't they? G2 re-exploring here, looking for a little bit of information. Running a trap play at the start, but KRU didn't walk into it. So instead, Leaf gives up the space. Got a snakebite to try to fight back in, and Sentinel utility not on the flank here.
Yeah, a lot of backside control already going to be given up here to KRU. Flank could go down without too many issues. The flank, potential problem, but there's nobody actually sitting there. All of the KRU players up onto the site, and it's a critical fight to be won out. Less. He's going to be stuck into the corner though. Nades, sails past. He's going to have to swing wide to escape the ire of it, yet still it is... Oh, well, Jorgenmo claims his mark. Trent on top of it as well. Silence. Taken straight out. 3 players, make it just 2 now for KRU, looking to try and hold back the onslaught of G2. A team that is in top form currently. Showing no mercy, MW. Last one left towards the back of the site, but he's been spotted out, rooted out. 4-piece for Jorgenmo.
What an opener from Jorg, man. They recognize exactly the position that Les was going to be in. Loved the snakebite as well from Leaf early on, which stopped a bit more of that post-plant aggression from KRU. They were going to look to try to take the fight in deeper and deeper. Pressure on Heaven, pressure on Stairs. And G2 handle it all and let Jorg feast. Really big opening from him. Gets him very close, honestly, to his showstopper. He's got 5 points in that ultimate already out of 8. KRU not going to force. And Jorg's going to try to build that one up for what could be a pretty monstrous bonus round, actually. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but...
Yeah, 3 away is ridiculous.
Yeah, anytime you get up to a showstopper round 3, you've done something exceptional.
Flipping the switch on the door nice and early. The judge to hold them back from B. Leaf. KRU receiving a lot of attention soon enough, and there it is. They're going to try and control most of this one, but revealed up by the Horn. KRU able to walk all the way into this B side.
Yeah, he's given a judge away to KRU in a post plan.
Dangerous tidings. Not too much in terms of KRU. Okay, there. I was wondering if they wanted to push up towards Heaven, but no, going to commit to the plan.
It's all about getting the judge in the right place if KRU have a chance to win this.
Paranoia pushing forwards, trying to really make their mark and take over control of Blue Room. Wide faces again, though. Jorgenmo looking to contain that space and now putting the squeeze on these players, syncing it up with Baby Bait. Full side control now, just Main that has to be worried about, and they know where Less's position is. Already just trying to square up, but Jorg now, that's it. That's the ult for the bonus.
That's crazy. I mean, being able to defend half onto the diffuse and then pick up the rest of it. Valorant not being greedy, hands it over to Jorg. That round, honestly, could have gone a little bit crazy, but that's how they chose to use the judge there. Sadak blind from a Prowler, hopping through into Blue Room. G2, a fantastic beginning for them. Looking to be the first team to deal KRU a loss on Lotus. This map was the biggest reason why KRU were able to get off to an incredibly hot start and put together the best record of any of the teams in Americas.
Yeah.
Now they've got to deal with this showstopper, using it to reinforce the site that Baby Bay is holding. Often the Vice is going to be holding the weaker side of the map. This time, not the case, as Jorgenmo is with him. So trying to throw off the read that Sadak might have when he susses out what's going on with this defensive setup.
There's layers here. It's one of the G2's defense. Valorant took tight.
You'd expect, I think, as Sadak calling around like this, for Jorgenmo to be posted up somewhere towards C. Because normally that's the site that you're going to want to pop into.
Yeah.
So I think this is all just looking for information here.
Leaf. Judging hands. Door opens up though. Valorant is definitely going to be ISO'd. How the hell is he almost winning that one out? Dante. 12 HP. There's nowhere to run there for Valorant. Sitting duck. The rest of the team now, they want to move in a different direction. Uh-oh. Alarm bell is going to be ringing, at least for us. At home, because Vice setup's there, and so is Jorgenmo with that ultimate.
And Jorg can pop this off that wall contact if he wants. I mean, even if you bait the wall out.
There's about 30 seconds left into the round.
He's got a blast pack to get up and over the top of it.
How are KRU even going to navigate this one? Fading at the wall. Popped off here. Thorns as well to slow it all down, but there's nobody actually here. Sends it flying into the corner. Somehow Dante not going down, just dodging most of it, and less locked onto the sight line with Jorgamo taken out. So now a 3v5 crew navigating this one, but they still need to get the plant down. That's another problem entirely. Bebe off to the side just with that Spectre, but a nasty shot by Trent to trade it out.
Spike planted.
Plan will go down though for crew. A lot of worry is going to be avoided for now.
Yeah, these are two G2 players with bad weapons that are pretty far away.
Crew trying to be hypermobile, moving around the map there. There's a lot of acknowledgement there. Leaf's going to be spotting. One, perhaps two players. Jump spotting as well, just trying to create a bit of space. Door opens up, stray shots as well through that wall, and hold on, he's picked up a bit of a weapon now. Rifle obtained, and he's going to get a bit of a move on. Time is ticking.
I think doing economic damage here and playing for exits is perfectly viable as G2.
Yeah, Trent's never going to make a go for the spike here, so that's the crew just trying to evacuate through the back of the site, just trying to see if they can make their way past it. Sadak barely able to get out of there. Everybody escapes.
I gotta be real with you, Brent. That was a sloppy round from G2. Insane anti-synergy from Baby Bay. He popped the thorns that stopped Jorgamo from being able to use the trap play that they'd set up. I mean, when he pops his ultimate, he's just looking at the ground like, what have you done that to me for? And he got no value out of the showstopper there that we were hyping up as being a potential game changer for G2.
Yeah.
So, beef on the execution. And crew, they come away with quite a nice, clean win there. 4 people on light armor, but it's pretty similar across the board. And we get an even situation heading into round 4.
Wall set.
Very aggro wall, DPP as well out towards Rubble.
Now, Sadak loves calling rounds like this, where he takes slow Rubble control and just tries to bait out a trap play. Loads of defenders are going to be going for Rubble reclear strategies with a Paranoia and, you know, a util dump, looking to take the fight into them. And crew, they've specialized in diffusing those situations.
And both teams triggering the Vice Walls early.
And then if they need to rotate out to the other side of the map, Dante on the Neon offers them the ability to clear all of these corners. And of course, Silence defaulting over towards B main helps out as well. This time, though, super diligent, using the Prowler, headed towards Jorgamo.
Leaving less as a bit of an insert. Some chance to pivot if it all goes wrong over towards C.
Valen is reading that this is an A re-hit, and the Prowler was actually fake.
Well,
you can tell that's not the case.
Crew very good at just trying to hide their intent the whole time. The rest of G2, look at this stack of bodies over towards here, but this is 30 seconds remaining. The spike has to land over towards C here. Jorgamo. They give up most of this space here. He doesn't want to really contest alone.
How good does the post plant look? MW optimizing the plant position as best as possible here. Planting for Mound. Decent plant position for on-site if they want to leave a couple of players here as well. Still a nade, Paranoia, Haunt for retake. G2 have got a lot of tools still.
They're so worried about the lurk potential. They've only just recleared over towards A. Not getting a move on. Time's going to be short. Valent's going to be sending in some long-range util, at least with a smoke to supplement. Have the team get back in. Nade and a seize. Combined and a might, though. Sadak is going to be able to sidestep it for now, and a bit of spam into the smoke. Yeah, he goes fishing for it. The kills collected. Silence less. Sadak all getting their ones. Looking for a bit more now, and G2, this retake is just not viable at all. Immediate calls for just disengagement. A little bit too slow for my liking.
And crew knowing exactly how they want to play it. That smoke that kind of separates off the retakers, slowing things down even further and offering up some just spam lines for them to be able to play around. Look at this around the smokes.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed watching with crew has been that they've got such a good understanding of how the meta works, especially on this because it's their best map. They understand the intricacies of how does this specific meta work with people throwing utility here, what angles are best to play, what timings are best to play, what do we expect our opponents to do.
I'd rather win.
But if we're going to talk about form, Bren, I think that G2 have actually been in better form in the last couple of weeks. That's one of the areas where you might be doubting crew coming into this game.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, we were taking a look at the matches being played. Crew, it found like they were getting clocked and figured out. Which is 100 Thieves took the win against them. EG almost did. Yeah, they had opportunities to.
It's a bit crazy to say, isn't it? Because they did go 4-1 with the only loss being to 100 Thieves. But yeah, that almost lost to EG. Having us wonder.
Yeah, and I thought EG had some good prep work and anti. Also Crew in terms of what they were doing. Crudo here, massive weapon advantage with Bebe going down too. Another util's going to get popped off here, and these deep positions. I mean, Dante happy to punish.
A fairly simple round at the end.
Yeah.
G2 with a little bit of an opening over towards C, but KRU closed the door firmly in their face with that pick off the bait. With a nice kill, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, these are going to start to build up to another showstopper.
He's looking sharp. Grenade! A lot of his shots. Nades. Making it uncomfortable here for the KRU players. Hoping that he can play in Trent as well. They do have money to buy for the next as well, so they can afford to play riskily here. See if they can build up a couple of these ults. But Dante just plucks Jorg out, and Trent's going to follow shortly afterwards here. So KRU taking a lead, 2-3. Big beginnings for them on Lotus.
Yeah. A good response after G2 looked like they had an opportunity to run away with the game in rounds 1 and potentially round 3. Ults are going to start to get up here as well. Les is 1 away from being able to get a pit online. And G2 are a couple away from some big ones too. Again, that showstopper should have been a game changer round 3, and Jorg's going to have another chance at that. He has been playing well. 8-3 top of the scoreboard. But this round's absolutely important. And G2's economy will not survive losing another.
Bring them down.
A lot of emphasis being placed up towards B here. Deep wall. Switch going to be flipped. It has pulled a little bit of that util out. Hold on, this play is way in front of you, and Dante. He wants to go for it. Just sending it all the way past. A lot of this util. The thorns in the wall, no problem for him. He's got that backside control and less on this lurk avenue. Takes out his adversary. Leaf falling. Meant to plug up those gaps. For KRU, they have full side control, and they look like they want to take it, I mean, maybe one step further.
Yeah, they fade ulted into Waterfall, and now they know that they can fight into spawn, take down Valin easily.
G2 just getting picked apart here. Sliced and diced. I mean, KRU, they're just dissecting it. Once they get into the site themselves, it feels like a lot of individual ones being offered up by G2.
I mean, that's a brilliant round, though. They instantly recognize that if Valin is posted up in that forward C position, and he's going to TP backwards, it's really unlikely there's going to be another player there to hold on. Their read was instant. Dante knew that he could take all the space in the world over towards C. And then we got to see that little battle between Leaf and Les. Who can read each other on the lurk? Who can find the better timing? And Les has been significantly better than Leaf so far.
Yeah.
Here's the kill that I'm talking about, but if you wanted to know the stats, Les is 6-3, Leaf is 1-6.
Right.
So there is a really big difference here in the Viper Impact early doors.
The form that Leaf was in yesterday was unbelievable.
And also, we don't have to talk about yesterday. We can talk about it.
It hasn't been 5 years.
It's been a long time,
Feels like it.
And so we haven't actually been able to see Valin versus Sadak for very long at the top level. You know, very early on in Americas, that was something to look forward to. But Sadak is back. And putting other IGLs on notice at the moment with his individual performance too.
And an incredibly hard read that Vice set up being played over towards A, only this time G2 have a stack of bodies ready to respond.
It feels like the same kind of trap play. Bake the wall. Is Jorg going to go for it though on an eco?
G2 don't have the money, but they might just try and send it flying forward. Sadak is just beaming them all down. He TP'd up on top of the box, and he's taking liberties now. My God, breaking ankles in the process. All that damage done, chipping away the G2 opposition, whittling it down the defense.
Individual level from Sadak. I think he gets some easy ones. It's like shooting fish in a barrel there because of his positioning.
Wow.
Because of his positioning and his awareness that something like that could be going on. You do not normally see an attacking Omen TP on top of that box. But I think they're really aware that G2 are using that wall as like a trigger for some kind of bait reaction.
Yeah. This is absurd.
Yeah, but he does it at the same time as his team triggers the wall, and so he's on an unexpected position. Again, just showing you that intelligence and positioning can be way more important than just hitting crazy shots when it comes to putting up the stats. Okay, Jorgamo has the showstopper back again. We're now talking not about G2 being in control of the game, but trying to get back into the game with this ult.
Absolutely. KRU with a massive lead, not looking to let it up whatsoever. DTP, that's a Omen ult that's not going to be committed. It just clears a bit of a path, or at least gives information over towards B. And Les has been spotted out. Rooted out of that spot here. The Proud actually getting a connection acknowledgement. Jordan's going to be sending this one flying forwards there. Showstopper finds the mark once more. 2-piece now for Jorgen, an instant reaction called for. Dante trying to move forwards, but the Thorns delayed and slowed. Patience played by Leaf to perfection. And now just leaves it down to MW. He's going to be swiftly, potentially meeting his match. Jorgamo, eager to draw even more blood. Flawless for G2 to answer straight back.
They needed that round. An absolute desperate situation for G2. 5 in a row for KRU. And finally, G2 respond. They get that opening pick, snowball it into an advantage. I think Les took a ton of chip damage before he even got to this position. And Jorg throws out the ult. His stats are good enough that he can feel comfortable about sending it in that situation. Cheeky from Dante to even go for that.
Nice! Come on, Alex!
Leaf returns back to his position, holding on to C. We saw an amazing play coming out of him yesterday in that spot. And he rips the Viper's Pit over here. Single-handedly in charge of holding down the left side of the map.
KRU not hiding their hand this time. They threw an abundance of util over towards A, anticipating that G2 would fight it aggressively.
This is kind of how we've been seeing Sadak Kordo. I explained it earlier on, but they are 5 stacking over towards Rubble a lot to open these rounds. But it's slow, it's patient, and then it's very diligent as they re-clear the rest of the round.
Howler does get the connection, but they only heard one player sound it down.
Ooh, do they want to go for the retake here? Maybe playing into KRU's hand.
Perhaps. They're left guessing right now in terms of map control, wondering how many players it actually is. It could just be a lurk player, it could be the whole team.
Jorgamo may peek into an off-sight line here. He's going for a jump spot.
Yeah. Doors opened up. Cracking over towards B. The door's going to be dropped in the process. Less off of this chaos and confusion. The noise is trying to really see if he can capitalize. It's way ahead of most of this util now. Cutting up these angles. And look at that by Dante. In and out straight away. Santa's going to play off that space perfectly once more. Nades again rebounding. Still only approached by KRU. They've only got about less than 30 seconds now. And they call for the pause, the pump fake. Jorgamo can only do so much before the trade is intact once more. 2v3 is what G2 are facing right now, and every position's accounted for. Les is way ahead of it. Look at that. As the wall props up, just barely getting a peek of Leaf.
Slightly too early there for Leaf, based on the timing of his wall. But it's another magical round from KRU, it really is. Silence with the operator was holding on to these angles forever. Don't think Babybay's going to get a look in, but maybe if Lefs gives up another freebie.
You're going to see probably a lot of discipline now, especially with the spike ticking. As I say that, Les just takes the one anyway. Okay.
Yeah, just goes for it.
Yeah.
So Silence is holding over towards stairs this entire round with the op. Les gets to walk up off the back of his operator teammate holding that angle, and then he's holding kind of a crossfire as the rest of his team gets posted up into tree. So Les is making sure his players in tree don't get punished. Silence is making sure that Les doesn't get punished. It's an expert level round that shows you how a team working together can hold angles and hold space for each other. And at what point can KRU get punished? I mean, G2 have been very, very reluctant into going for these A-Rubble refights.
Yeah.
They're very passive today. They're scared to take the fight into KRU.
Operator in the hands of Jorgamo. It's going to be walls in his face, though. Preventing deep play. Horns is used pretty preemptively there by G2. Doesn't really get a whole lot of acknowledgement that they were looking for. They've stacked so many plays over towards the A side of the map.
We're also not seeing Leaf push out of C too much up until now.
Yeah. Sitting on demand, he's got no help yet.
He's either going to take Prowler contact or Dante jumping into his face. It's one or the other.
Prowler sees it. It's going to be broken. Biding his time, though. Bit of pressure over towards C-Man. Now KRU look towards it, but there's util being used on either side, and as that war drops, there it is. Jorgamo immediately answers. Stun's going to be falling at his feet, but a nade to try and push them back, and he wants to get back onto the line. He's playing inside the smoke. That is just absolutely manic, man. Steel Garden, anything to try and stunt this one. Trent towards the back of the site, he's going to be fighting World War III at this point. Going to be overwhelmed swiftly. No way! Steel Garden barely getting off in time, and just classics out. It's all Trent needs. Spike dropped into the middle of no man's land. Les, hell of a task to try and retrieve this one, especially with everybody slowly caging him in.
9 HP and a classic in hand. Trent takes down 2.
How has he done that?
Well, I mean, a complete disrespect of Babybay's ultimate. The KRU players are running forwards, assuming they're still going to be able to use their primary weapon, and MW has his gun jammed right as he's looking to take the timing.
Holy shit!
Trent can't believe it.
Holy shit, I just killed 2.
Josh is happy with that one. G2 are getting their way back into this map, actually. Looked like KRU dominance for a while here. If G2 can put at least another on the board, it's not too bad of a half.
Similar game plan again from KRU for their team. Jump towards A. Well, being broken early. Spam goes back and forth. Both sides praying for a lucky connection, but now they're going to be bursting open the door now, moving into this B site. Main control, pretty critical, but Jorgemo's just going to be maintaining his composure. There's a flank, but it's going to be late coming. Jorgemo trying to get the hell out of there, somehow escapes. Barely alive on 2 HP, but with his life intact. The rest of G2 surrounding the area. Boombot somehow getting involved in the action, but Dante here on 12 HP. A menace. Shots fired still, no plant down. Calling for a bit of a pause and patience to be played. A tap. This time full committal. And fights one out here by KRU. Less dominating. Door's going to be switched and flipped open, baby. Does win his one out over towards that.
That's a bit too bold from Les, I think.
Yeah.
He's offered G2 an opportunity here.
Leaf just baiting, getting information. Giving it up to Baby Bay to see if he can make a play off of this, but there's lurks and flanks occurring.
All
one
on silence.
after the other. It is all on silence with him down. Dante now the sole player to play for this.
It's not planning for him.
12 HP. He's got to step way out into the open, and surely Leaf has just got this one. Moving around, one bullet is all it takes.
Oh, that's a really poorly played post plant from KRU. They've allowed G2 into that one when they should not have had a hope. You can't make mistakes like that against a team with the caliber of G2 that have been in these positions so many times. Credit to Leaf, he was terrorizing silence back there, tripped his vice wall, went round, tapped the door, constantly causing chaos. I think probably made KRU think that there were more players on the flank.
Yeah. Silence
may have miscommed and said that there was multiple after he got pressure from B and from C Mount. But this is a recovery of the half from G2. Sadak needs another in order to stamp their authority on this. They got 5 in a row at some point, and they're still only up 6-5.
For G2, just missing one round to make it even.
Jorg with his 3rd ult of the half.
That's just ridiculous. He's frying right now. Building him up on no notice at all. A lot of players, in fact, the entirety of the team, KRU, hiding and waiting.
The last 2 times that Jorg had ult, they were playing around a Vice setup on A. So KRU may well be thinking about that.
G2 has switched up the setup once more, and Beve's looking to reinforce up towards A. Door open, Prowler committed.
Another 5-person A default called by Sadak.
Yeah. Just over and over and over again, running it one after the other. Feels like real pressure with a Prowler and a door being flipped open. Calling for the pause once more though. KRU, they love to insert that uncertainty. Out of Nightfall really does send a pretty clear message. They're looking to try and take this side forwards once more. Shots don't need to be hit on either side. Valent's already claimed one, Baby with the other. Trent, why not? Getting involved into the conversation, but KRU are still shooters themselves. Looking to see if they can stamp their mark onto this side, and they do, claiming it in their name. But the plant still needs to go down. It's a 2v2. Jorg is going to be approaching with that ultimate leap. What a shot and what a kill to find.
Oh, the wall betrays Dante and leaves everything up to Les. And this has allowed timing for Jorgemo to come here with the showstopper.
Barely any time at all. Plant committed. Showstopper forwards. Satchel's down and abound. Jorgemo is going to be rapidly approaching now, but despite his time and waited out for the patience, Leaf has gone down. Gets the acknowledgement. Rocket going wide, and Jorg, he's only got the operator. Shorty out now, and he's way out in the open. Les just weaves and ducks around it all and somehow delivers KRU that 7th.
Well, KRU absolutely misplayed a post plant on B earlier, and then G2 have returned the favor there. You have a showstopper left with 14 seconds and a guy putting the spike in the earth, and somehow Les is made to look like a god in that round.
How has he done
Dodges everything. Some of these rounds are wild, but it's left us with a very competitive half. Yep. Players without that, for sure. But at the same time, bolstered by a core of Sadak, Les, and even MW's got an enormous amount of
he attended the first
tenure at the top. Yeah.
So when I looked that up recently, I couldn't believe it.
I mean, he's been in the game forever.
Yeah.
G2 going for their own version of this 5-person A default here.
Just watching a repeat of what KRU were doing.
Yeah, this time on the pistol, though. Maybe KRU, at some point, look to take a rubble fight, look to take a rubble refight. Didn't see that once from G2 on defense. The attackers are very ready for it.
Yeah. Very deep push already by Les. He's got a lot of control deep towards B. It allows KRU to get a heavy stack of bodies over towards A. Waiting for it as well, up to the doors, but you're holding Util out into your hand. Sadak close quarters, the blind! These players just barely navigating it. Somehow Sadak's got two. Leaf though, inserted, and now course for the pivot all the way back towards A to push and pull intact.
MW definitely thought that the whole of G2 had rotated towards B there.
Less still with his flank, might be able to activate in time. KRU, heavy hold up towards heaven.
Toxin screen down.
Dante and Silence waiting to see what Les can get done. Already maneuvering here. Valent as well, taking up residency over towards the B side of the map. Smokes are going to be sent out now, flying forwards, but KRU want to get a bit of a move on. Already a kill claimed with Leaf going down. Trent is largely on him, but he's already finished. And now Valent from the side. Paranoia waiting primed and now sent flying forwards. KRU going to do this one now in a 1v2. Surely a tap to see if they can ice on his fight, but it's all Valent! Where is Dante looking?
What a round as well from Valent. After he ended the first half with only one kill, he's absolutely come alive. 4 in that pistol, but you're right. What is Dante looking at,
Did he think he no-clipped through the door?
The crazy thing is, all throughout that round, Bren, I was thinking to tell you, oh, Silence has still got his wall up in tree. They know for a fact that G2 cannot be in tree. And yet Dante's looking there as if he's a woodpecker that has flown in and made a nest in tree. I don't understand.
Yeah.
There have been multiple moments. There have been a lot of good macro plays and demonstration and examples that these teams understand how to play Lotus, but there have been micro moments where players are losing their heads a little.
Yeah, skew whiff. Well, with that, G2, they earn that pistol. They're biding their time here, anticipating an aggro play by KRU. This is really their bread and butter on Lotus. To be honest, is a lot of these contact plays, and a swing actually comes up with the result. Baby taken out. Door opened up.
Geez, you have to pause here, just in case KRU were looking to swarm them at Mound. That's actually allowed a timing for them to be able to spread out around the rest of the map and anticipate the rotate.
Getting ahead of it.
Yeah, and this, I think, is one of the things that Sadak is doing best on this map on defense side. Anticipating where the attacking IGL is sending the troops.
The devious triple face from heaven.
At the same time, it's all with classics.
Okay. Smokes in their face. Prowler forwards once more. Jorgs trying to do a lot to see if he can clear this one. Essentially solo. Nade rebounding, and that should do significant damage. A little bit short of the mark and shy of it. Still, it is softening up these KRU opposition. Still, from the side, that's less as well onto the flanks once more. This guy's taking liberties and up towards it. This is really just slapdash. Anything that they can throw against this one somehow comes down to a 1v1, unless missed the exit opportunity, but Jorgamo, weak as anything. 20 HP, 15 seconds left. The spike is in the middle of nowhere, and it comes down to this timing. 12 seconds left. It's ticking down. Your opportunities are fading away with it. Just behind the box, he's missed it. And time is way too short. It has to be a full stick. Les! Oh my goodness! Barely grasped the opportunity in front of him.
Crazy end to the round. A smile breaks out on Les's face.
Smile.
I mean, he is normally quite a stoic guy, but he's got to let out a little chuckle at that one. This round, though, is incredible macro play from KRU, and yet they're barely able to get it over the line because they only have the classics. But they played the defensive rotate perfectly, faking the mound push, rotate to A, Les getting really active on the push out as well, wrapping around behind, as you would see from Leaf against any other team but G2 were too scared to do it. And now the economy is in a really wonky spot. It's only Leaf that has a hero rifle.
Yeah, and he just sent it, revealed by the horns, and realized he had to respect that.
Considering how tight the scoreline is, and how strong both teams' record has been, I think KRU look like they do have the better read on how they want to play.
Door open, that's got to be cause for concern, yet Leaf somehow almost there. Trying to get control with the rifles. You've only got the pistols now for the rest of the G2 squad. It does leave it into a 2v3. Softened up though. Sadak and Silence will go down to a swift breeze really at this point. Plan down for Valin. Not too worried at all. He's playing riskily, realizing that, listen, we're already a player down. Might as well go for it.
Trent has also got the hard read that Les is going to go for the same
path. He's been packing multiple times.
Yeah, so he's really thinking about this flank. The problem is, he's miles away from the plant, but he's got a kill.
Silence gone down. Valendo giving up a lot of access to sight in the process. The Prowler not receiving much in the process. All the way slipping from behind though. There's Les with that backstab. Now it's just down to Trent. Does have a rifle in his hands, needs to be held down by Les, defended! Shots through the wall! Sadak returns, though, with fire in his belly, and gets that defuse off.
That's the form that you've been seeing recently from Sadak. He is good for a lot of those 1v1s. Trent himself can be very difficult to deal with in a clutch position like that. But the KRU IGL comes out on top this time. That, though, there was only a single rifle that G2 brought into that one, and they actually did a great job of being able to push them.
Very close.
Sadak's alternating between gassing himself up about his insane reads and then heaving sighs of relief.
Yeah, can't blame him.
3 rounds in it, not a soul on the A site for the defenders.
Oh my goodness, what is this? And KRU, heavy focus being placed towards it again. Part of the playbook, they're going to contact up to the very final moment, but now they're going to be swinging. Flash, though, it's a counterplay from G2 to try and hold them back. Baby Bay earns himself 2. Now where the third is, and they're going to anticipate that deep push. Silence, forward, surely. You're picking up rifles in the midst of it, making all the noise in the world. Backs, turn, silence. Silence, this is your time to shine! My God! It's a bit whiffy.
It's a mess.
Gives an opportunity, and Trent will capitalize instantly at that with that trade. 1v2 now for MW to try and play himself into, but he's left guessing in terms of where this spike was landing.
Yeah, and he's gone for the full wraparound play here. If he taps the door, he gives away his position, but he's going to go for it anyway.
Yeah. Playing this one fast and loose. Double up, though, from G2. Immediate breakage of the horns. A lot of util for MW to play with, so he gets acknowledgement. He's knowing where these players might be, but now spotting it. It's a high-low setup for G2, and how the hell do you navigate it? Requires individual brilliance. Tries to go for the wide face, but it's Valen who shuts it all down here. G2 refusing to stay down, really.
It's a crazy round for KRU to go for, I can't lie. They booked it out of C and B through a paranoia at those players over towards the boxes outside C. But they couldn't even get out B in the first place. So 3 players just instantly blinded. Really, really well handled by Baby Bay, I gotta say.
It's nice to see. I mean, Bebe's making adjustments even from the last game that they played on Lotus. He was putting that deep wall down consistently on their Lotus and getting punished for it occasionally, and now he's added in the extra little wrinkle, which is the flash.
Yeah, the flash was really nice. Blinded up those 3 A players that otherwise would have been sprinting towards G2. That could be the round that turns the game back in G2's favor. Baby Bay's going to get closer and closer to an ult, as is Leaf, if they can mop up this eco round from KRU.
Toxins going up.
Seen some devious things, though, with that judge. And Sadak surely doesn't go for the push here. My God.
Toxins going up.
Very deep on the line. He's hoping to see if he can catch Leaf, who has been lurking here from time to time. C-mount control. Called for by G2. Vicewall does need to be baited out. Looks like Jorg's going to be making a go of it. Manages to trigger it with Leaf, just trying to play off a lot of this sound cue and pressure. Sadak earns himself a kill. Teepers as well, obfuscating where he could be.
Horrible position to try to dig Sadak out of. I don't think a B finish is on the cards here for G2.
Well, might not have too many options, to be honest.
Really going for it?
Might be the case. All here, Judge, to hold them all back. And this gun, again, I've said it.
Jorg has a nade. They might think about it.
Yeah, potentially. Prowler to fake some presence here. G2, they don't have a lot of use to see if they can clear. Jorg is thinking about it. One step ahead. Good level of awareness and immediately straight in there with a plant. Steel Garden's going to be used to buy some breathing room here, but it is against the eco. I mean, pistol rounds is really the pistol's only what KRU really have to work with, and they're happy to just see if he can square up, take the fight. A lot of shots landed into the chest of Valen, but not enough to bring him down. 40 HP, forwards again. These angles are devious. He's able to find these access towards it. 3 fights forwards and calling for the 3-2-1 swing. In control in the hands of G2. Well navigated.
Yeah, there was a lot of danger in that round after they identified the judge. I love that pre-fire clear from Jorgamo. Really smart on understanding where Sadak would have gone to, but you know, they were diligent about clearing out some other positions first. Still gets brought down into a pretty difficult situation. A pure 1v1 towards the end, but completely distracted player, and Trent picks it up easily. Teams have played it 4 times. You have 8 maps of footage to look at. The Breeze where you have 2, and honestly, one of them's not even that relevant.
It's an unknown quantity, right? So you want to secure the wins where you know you can. Lotus being that open map could be a huge advantage to either side.
KRU do decide to deny that C ult orb. So they go fight
Very
bound
fast play
at the beginning of the round. And Now they might be able to put some pressure over here as well.
Yeah.
G2 are not wanting to be super committed, though, towards either of the ult orbs. Just playing things slowly at the beginning of the round.
Got some smokes faking like they could be lurking up. Scared of the potential that KRU could have pushed out. I mean, they made a lot of noise over towards C.
Valen's A pressure, though, has actually reopened Mound if they wanted to re-explore in that situation.
There.
Prowler broken. Les is hard committed onto this line and leaves there with the operator. Well trained, just comes down to the reaction times and just clips him into the shoulder. It's enough to do less in.
Toxins going up.
Boombot to clear another level of it, and they're making sure to hide again. Full control. Orb's going to be picked up though, and that's going to be the signal to go forwards. Moving now deeper into the C side. It's left completely vacant. Sadak flips the switch. TP's out, just seeing if it can be a cause for concern. Tracks a couple of attention.
Silver lining for KRU there is that 2 ultimates got used on an empty site, so they might be able to retake this 4v5, but G2 are in control for now.
I've seen Valorant, the one trying to operate on a lurk timing up towards Waterfall. Sadak with that deep TP, but that was heard for. Now with that util out in his hands, caught completely unaware. The rest of KRU are towards the back of sight, and the position surely accounted for. Dante trying to work his way in. But this time essentially doing it single-handedly. He's got MW just over the shoulder. Anything to help this one out, but G2 full control over all of the extremities. Dante's just trying to exit out cleanly. Takes a head of Valen straight off, but they still don't want to make a play for it.
Leafs found so much value in this round with the op, and Jorg's a little push in to combine and pinch into Waterfall with Valen's lurk is very nice stuff from G2.
Yeah.
Really slow, controlled, and actually more spread out and working the map a little bit more even than Sadak was on his attack side. A lot of Sadak's rounds started A and, you know, they figured out what they wanted to do from there. I think Valen came into this one with a very specific idea of freeing up Mound with the A pressure early on to let Jorg build up that ultimate. Very well crafted. And great value coming out of the tactical timeout, even though it was their opponents. G2 keep the momentum, and the score's level.
9-9. On a map that could be the pivotal one.
First rubble fight of the map so far.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of teams, they don't like to all in these days. Util's essentially at a premium, and you don't want to give away the game to your opponents to cause them to react in a different direction. So do go for the contact plays, but the Seas connects. Onto a lot of them, the Tendril's going to be swinging out, and the Haunt is dealt with. Towards the top though, that's a huge reveal, and Valen spray control straight there. Trying to anticipate where these players may lie. The Prowler points directly to his mark.
And maybe that is a prime demonstration of why a lot of these teams don't want to all in for those rubble fights. Because G2 dismantled them, the Seas and the Horn. The value from Trent was superb.
Beautiful util. Big advantage here for G2. They call for the pause once more, almost at that minute mark, waiting for now. But time could be a problem if they wait a little bit too long here. Silence is a big ult to see if he can delay. Might not be going towards his side anyway. Sadak, tricky business. Gives the Prowler a shank. Les trying to hold this back! Valen and Trent down and out for the count. Lines up entirely in silence. Just activating. Leaf with that operator. Goes for the swing, but he's low as anything in the process. Spike in his midst. Be able to make a move, perhaps. Well, he's got about 30 seconds, second guessing whether he could run away. Potentially trying to sound bait here, but in a 1v2, it's an impossibility for him. And this was a G2 with the advantage.
They had a huge advantage in this round, and yet Les has come up with an unbelievable play.
Rifle picked up. All the sound being made in the world here. Leaf just hard commits this time.
They're giving him a lot of respect, but they're fast on this one.
Yep. And Leaf not expecting that the players could be wrapping all the way around there. So KRU, they find a way back in.
I mean, that's a round that is all on an individual, to be honest with you. This off angle that Les plays in Blue Room is beautiful. The opening is all well played by G2. All of this stuff is really lovely. That off angle, we've seen Baby Bay play it. Now we're seeing Les play it. Good for a lineup. Unexpected. People are normally thinking about the left-hand side of that angle. And dude, this guy's got 24 kills.
He's unbelievable. It's demonic form right now.
He's got a KD of 2. He's 24 and 12 after 19 rounds. That's exceptional.
It's just absurd. It was better for everyone.
It was better for everyone.
Clean break.
Just stay at home.
Yeah. But we'll see, because KRU, they are gunning. See if they can represent Americas at Masters London. The same could be said for G2. And that stat earlier, it goes to show, really, you've got some of the best in Americas really battling against each other for one of our spots.
A Economy's being pressured here by G2. They've got double Guardian coming into this one. It's not the greatest if they wanted to play around a pit.
No. Making a lot of noise over towards C-Mount. Been a lesser defense across the board, I would say, Crew.
He didn't get it there. I think he was looking to try to bait the wall, but the wall might actually be offset just like the tiniest bit further than he was expecting.
Looks like it. A little bit further forwards. The evolution of the Vice wall. Sometimes we're seeing it all the way back. Team's getting better and better at trying to bait it out. The slow play from G2. Caution can be a good thing, but we saw in the last round. Ended up being turned against them. This is Sadek being very brave. A lot of spam being sent out flying forwards. A Prowler and a Paranoia in exchange for it. Sadek is essentially trying to posture like he's got a bit of a stronger defense, I think, hold than it actually is. It is just him on A, so if he goes down, it would be problems. TP, try and back out. Immediate call for that one. It's a TP as well onto the other side of things, but Sadek falls, and that will crack open the A site.
Great TP from Valorant as well. Goes over towards Tree. And Crew left in a 4v5 to try to wrap things up. Do we see the pit deployed here as well?
Perhaps he's got it in the back pocket. Popping all the way up here. Les is alone. ISO trying to take these fights. Jorg perhaps squaring up. Making a go for it. The wall up, though, gives an opportunity for Crew to potentially walk up, take some more space. The stun is good. Fast lane forwards and just sitting inside the stun, just looking for signs of life. Jorg really tangling with them, and the pit is going to be pulled out anyway.
And that's a sign for Crew to back things off and just allow the score to once again draw level. G2 coming out with a really nice acceleration play in this round. And Valin again just going through all of the checks that you need to see from a top IGL playing on Lotus, right? There is pressure over towards C early on. And he did miss the bait on the wall, but he stayed towards C, chose a different timing. At the same time as his team was Viper walling out to get back into rubble, he chose to trip the wall on C. And that makes it really difficult for Crew to figure out where is this ending. Yeah. Is this a C re-hit where they're faking the A re-clear, or is this an A hit where they're faking the C wall?
And especially when he has the ult as well to rejoin them.
Yeah, it's really, really well called. And you could see Sadek here in an absolute scramble, because as soon as the pace increased, he couldn't hold on. He ran out of utility by that point.
Big ults online though for Crew. It is 10 to 10 even for now.
I think Jorg's ult, though, has the possibility of being a real asymmetrical advantage for G2. That's not one that Crew are ever going to have. They're not running the raise. So if Jorg can get up to it, it could really crack into one of these sites.
Steadily walking up for now. Crew holding it down. Les now going to be broken. His team has C-Mount control, so doesn't need to worry too much about this one, but it is cleared largely. Horn's going to be broken, spotting signs of life as well. Paranoia held. Sadek wants to go for this one, calling for it now, but a Caesar. Beautiful play cooked up by Crew. Proactivity is the name of the game. They're jumping, chomping at the bit for the chance to draw blood and more. Kills going their way.
Well recognized, though. Well recognized by G2 that they should take the fight into Mount and take the whole of the C site. So it's an exchange. You're down a player, but you grab a site.
Yeah, the knife was going to be committed here. Not too sure how many players, if any at all, that it did catch onto.
Oh, Baby Bear's gone for a bad plant here.
Yeah, it's all the way tucked into the corner. There's no play from G2 to try and fight for backside controls. Everybody on the individual timings, looking to see if they can take it themselves. And Leaf can only get the one. Dante, sharp. Shooting on display. Now the Steel Garden. There is a pocket to play in. Out towards the back. There's Util in the hands. Valen caught unaware, and it just leaves it all to Baby Bay. Impossible spot to be in. Still, Dante's going to be taken out. Top of the box. Angle here. Silence. Just doing spins in the air. And avoids the spray down to Baby Bay.
The two of Silence and Les, they do work together to close that one out. As daft as it looked from our point of view, Silence is jumping in there to play Les in and guarantee that they could get the trade. And the Steel Garden was the thing that got Les his first kill. Pushing Valin back into that spot. That's a really nicely played round too. Great little trap. Paranoia's so good from that position at the bound switch. And Crew, they are barely maintaining the lead, but they still have it.
One for now, up to 11.
Economy's not broken though. G2, they're holding on. They've got rifles, and Jorg's one away from a showstopper.
A similar game plan. Crew very heavy hold. TTP may have been heard. Dante forwards again. Haunt reveals him though. Position accounted for. Puts up the stun, puts up the wall. Thinks like he could be disengaging, hearing a scuttling of footsteps, but Still holding his ground. The rest of G2, though, looking to react.
Look how fast Les is to go and support Silence on the other side of the map, though. I think this is one of the things that KRU are amazing at, is just getting ahead of the attack and rotates. And that's why this fake with the spike, as they possibly look to go back into C, could be so good from Valorant.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Leaf, he just walked straight past the wall. Finds a corner to play in with the Prowler being broken as well. It definitely feels like could be real pressure with the rest of the team waiting behind it.
Yeah, what a sick bait actually here from Valorant. They've really played KRU.
The whole team, whole squad, KRU just being attracted towards it. And
Jorg uses his ult again on an empty site.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. I mean, it looks a bit silly, but G2 just making sure that even if they hadn't played KRU's defensive rotates like a fiddle, they'd be able to clean up any anchor player that was left behind.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. Leaving Leaf in this insert position. That wall being baited out. There is no exit there for Dante, but he is able to get out anyway. Finds his way past it. The wall. Okay, door being flipped open. Baby's got these open sight lines now, and he's to link it up with the rest of his team. Him and Valen, they combine their might. And KRU just trying to activate as well. Off onto this retake. There's a smoke in their face, trying to take the fight past it. They're not set up, not primed for it. Valen on top of it all. This guy shooting today, and G2 11-11. Not to be outdone.
I mean, this is the kind of game you want to see when you've got Valen versus Sadak.
Yeah.
Them manipulating each other's rotates, playing around with the expectations and the reality. So many times here we're seeing Valen find an empty site by faking the pressure across A and C. I mean, he has just been...
We're going to see another all-in KRU. They do like a bit of a contact play on their defense when they're on an eco. Seen this many a times. We'll see if they end up showing presence. Just a haunt. Walking up. Praying that Dante can be set up. He's got that Bucky in hand, and there's plenty of targets waiting behind it. Leaf trying to shut them down. Still big reveal. TP. It just clips into the wall. Leaf puts them down to the grave. Not gently at that. This is G2 in the driving seat now to bring this one to 12.
Great control from the guy. They might well slow this down and just ensure that they're all three synced up together, because it would be a disaster if Silence clutched this one away. Yeah. But we can see he's on the entire opposite side of the map. And as I said, G2 not being in the lead since round 2. Steal it away at the final moments. And they're going to get up to potentially be the first team to beat KRU on this map.
Still wondering where Silence could be. A couple of taps, umming and ahhing. This time a full committal.
I like the idea that Jorg thinks he can work up to another showstopper. I mean, he's been playing great. He goes for the plant there, like.
Yeah, how many more kills is he going to get? Silence. It's making a lot of noise here. Gives the acknowledgement. G2 now just set up to swing off of Leaf's contact. Silence. Seems like there wasn't a level of awareness, but he just runs at them anyway.
Knife.
Yeah, knife out. Straight into the maw.
Verno's somewhere in a hallway shivering.
No, it was brutal what they were doing to him in that last match.
Look at this. Leaf in the perfect position to shut this play down. Took an early timing.
Yeah.
And his KRU tried to punish the other players coming through that choke point. He's there. He's there. He's the safe pair of hands that they need. And despite Les dropping 27 kills in this map so far, it's G2 up to map point.
On the precipice. Les will offload this one. It's a pit with a wall to play around too to supplement his side of the map.
Immediately G2 start going in the opposite direction. When they were feigning towards a rubble, and then as soon as the pit was thrown up, maybe they feel like they need to go and apply some pressure in that direction first. Otherwise you're going to be running into 2 players no matter which site you hit.
Yeah. Does allow KRU, like you said, I mean, they can stack heavy over towards away from the pit.
You could rip Baby Bay's ultimate and try to pressure him, but Les is still going to have some opportunity to take you down inside here.
I mean, this is a devious one. Look at the amount of gaps and corners here. Definitely thinking about the box, and I think about the old secondary to it. Seize, nade, rebounding, steel garden, all going to be used to try and push Les away, but he still stays remaining inside the pit with the wall up. Just giving a bit of a safety net.
Does he know that Jorg is here? In already?
Woods, perhaps potentially here. Jorg is trying to really just sail forwards, a slight pocket to play in. Leave just dividing and conquering. Forwards again, though. The rest of G2 looking to see if they can put their mark once more onto this round and seal up this map entirely. Paranoia sweeps. Baby going to be finished, though. Chopped down at the knees by NW. 3v3. Call for the pause. KRU playing with a bit of patience. TPs going to be used. Sadak just trying to obfuscate is intent with it. Threaten like they could be on the flank, and now they can put all of their attention forwards. Trent is just being whittled down, a Nightfall now being used. The Decay catching, at least onto both. MW and Silence, they can't hear a thing. Have to rely on the IGL, Sadak, to be their ears. Smokes in their faces. Obstacles denying them a chance to get involved here into an even fight, but there it is. Sadak actually finds his one. Still, these players are being chipped down, and KRU, anything can really bring them down at this point, just trying to bait and switch. Trent! He's already doing the damage. He's got 3 kills in the round. Might be looking for that 4th to put the finish, and a flourish towards the end. Lotus is G2's.
And look at what that means to them. Valorant and Trent immediately off their feet. That is the first... Yep. They've put time into it. Sadak might have known that it was coming up in this series too. And there's not a huge amount of maps that you'd expect G2 to take it to. Maybe Haven would be one of them.
Early on though, one way propped up. There's no real fight past this. We were given essentially free reign. A knife against the back of the pyramid as well gives them a lot of acknowledgement that no one's really hard anchoring towards it. The wall and the high tide is going to be used pretty early though by G2. Maybe to try and see if they can get this through, and Jorgmo's just caught completely unaware on the Neon.
Yeah, totally on his own.
Way out of the open.
The rest of his team looked like they were setting up for a retake.
Yeah. High tide will dissipate. Lesto, very forward approach. He's worried about being contested, but no clearance at all into the corner. These G2 players really being caught and left unaware. I'll see these fights taken out into the open, still offering themselves up. It's Dante seeing if he can square up, and the reactions off the bloody charge. His 3 kills immediately ripped away, and they know where his last remains. Sadak be the one to do Trent in, and that's a pistol round for KRU. That's all he needed.
It's another good beginning here. KRU take the lead on G2's map pick. I'm a bit confused as to what was going through Jorg's head there.
Either.
Maybe a comms issue, maybe they're... I don't know. I mean, a lot of the meta in Americas right now is that people are playing very heavy retake on Breeze. And not just on A, but on both sides, honestly. Yeah. You're seeing almost every team that is running Harbor on this map playing sometimes both sides for retake. And in that kind of metagame, it's a bit unusual to see Jorg poking his head above the parapet and getting it ripped off before the rest of the team is ready.
I've seen a lot of teams in Americas, these days at least, being caught unaware. That blind is quite nice.
Less on a really early timing on the backstab through double doors.
So, still is a significant amount of damage here. Doubled up inside this smoke of G2. They overplayed themselves, overstepping it. Trent with the right clicks will be at least finding that one less. Taken out and traded. He's a sitting duck at this point, using the stars to see if he can creep a little bit closer. The plant committed.
Super deep wall.
Yeah. But a watchful eye as well onto any areas where G2 could be waiting. Smoke dissipates, and clean connection there from MW. Bulldog in hand acquires the upgrade.
That's a nice idea there towards the end. Trying to double face with a stun, but KRU clean it up. This was a really early time. We're 10 seconds into the round.
Sprinting.
And Les is already looking to pinch you from mid. And normally if you're running a 4-1 exec, the 1 is slow and just trying to use the distraction of the rest of the pack. But Les is taking these more aggro timings. MW one away from an ultimate. I wonder if they want to play for that, some kind of set Hunter's Fury take. Could distract for Dante's exec.
We'll see. That's a rapid fight to be taken, but the stun is pretty good from Jorg. There's a lot to slow it down, and Dante's going to be taken out. Double doors is to be accounted for. Oh my god, an 8 at your feet. Almost obliterating Valent.
Yeah, very close. MW does manage to get that ult orb, so Hunter's Fury online for the attackers, but the early play with the flash and the dart not paying dividends.
Devious angle. Valent's low anyway, might as well just make a risky play. Less is a couple of pot shots, see if he can drag attention. Soften up the A side, make it a little bit easier to hit into. Does he account for Jorg though? Jorg get Nancy perhaps onto the off angle, but he just spots out the positioning left though. Gonna be fading it out, glide to the side, smoke up, and Jorg reinserts himself, but Les has got that awareness. Incredibly. So, I mean, how does he even account for that one? Still, he's looking to see if he can create a bit of an opening now for the rest of his team. One-man army. Hunter's Fury now going to be committed. Off to the side, Valor being cleaned up, out towards the back of the side. Trent waiting for that second burst of things, but Les just times up his swing alongside it.
Yeah, that's really clean. 30 seconds. Push them into a 2v2 on the bonus.
Dinking everybody, man.
His aim's like a magnet.
Yeah, he's like a wrecking ball right now, but finally brought down to his knees. Leaf Takes him out, Baby Vado. Dropped down to 10 HP as a result of this one. Still very much winnable for MW. Just shots potentially baited. The swing through and trade intact there. Leaf eventually seals it up, but a costly one against the bonus.
Definitely. G2 getting themselves on the board, but I think less proving that he is going to be a problem on this map.
Yeah, continuing.
At the moment, he is just running around in mid, uncontested, like it's his personal playground.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Jorg went for the slide, he slid backwards away from Les. Really didn't make it as difficult as he wanted.
Covering it.
For this Brazilian beast of a Sentinel player. Look at G2's eco.
That's all.
They just won the round.
Yeah.
I mean, what is this?
The damage being done. I mean, it was a hefty bonus dealt by KRU.
Oh,
even if you don't win it, you're essentially the long con.
No, it's a shocker here as well, because G2 are on minimum loss bonus, so their economy online is going to be a nightmare from here.
A lot of noise though, and a hero rifle in the hands of Jorgamo! Stun! Lay it down to the feet, but he doesn't anticipate the second player, perhaps, but finally getting a grips onto it. Les, though, earned himself a kill in the process, and he doesn't go down for it.
It's a great opener. Jorg might have just saved them. KRU with no map control, 3 players bundled up in mid. They're going to have to shoot their way out of this one.
Yeah. Clearance. Good level of awareness out towards double doors there. They get a kill, but they don't rush into anything. Meanwhile, some flanks occurring. Silence is ahead of it. Aim, well-trained, locked in. What's he going to do with this one? Well, quite a lot, apparently. But that gun is thoroughly out of reach. Spike forwards, looking to disengage, but that is a hell of a sight line. He's got to scurry and run all the way back, but he's played Baby Bay in! That's not what you want to see. Couple of stray shots, MW. Regen armor kicking in. Tank one more shot to the body.
I mean, it's not a complete disaster. At least Baby Bay gets away with his life.
30 seconds left.
2 bullets left. Oh my god,
There.
missing the timing again. These players are quartered away. This time, snaps to it. The cranium of Les taken out. MW now left to scramble, making all the noise, and he gives away the game to Leaf. Beautiful work by G2. In the midst of that, they were working with scraps and odds and ends.
Yeah, and you can see that they went for way more risk than they usually would, because the value for it paying off is way higher in this situation. You're expected to lose the round anyway. Why not go for it? Do we really need to see this one again?
Oh, but he redeemed himself.
KRU did not expect him to go back in for another
Hey,
fight.
I made up for it, bro.
Yeah.
He really did. He really did. Jorgamo's the hero in that round, though, isn't he? Being able to get those first 2 at the beginning completely changed everything. That should have been KRU getting out to a sizable lead.
There's presence here. Trent has a Hunter's Fury to punish over towards A. They're droning. Might choose to go for it. Stun, connecting, off to the side, used on either side, but that's a big reveal. Jorgamo just trying to duck and weave, but a movement not quite enough to avoid the bullets in the eye at KRU. Steamrolling this one forwards now. It's high tides on high tides, and this is tricky business. I mean, look at the state of the map right now. Cutting it up now with a cosmic divide. Valen stands his ground. Maybe to try and stop this one in its tracks, but MW sharper shooting on display. Quicker reaction times at that. That's going to be committed. No real pushback whatsoever. It's G2. What the hell is Leaf going to do in a spot like this with just a judge in hand? Baby Bay moving forwards with 2 players towards the back of the side. It's all it takes to dismiss him. Not much you can do here, is there, Leaf?
I don't think so. If I'm Josh RT, I'm thinking about taking attack timeout after that round, Brent, because
it's messy.
We didn't get to see the impact from Les, but it was psychological. Trent, you were talking about it. Trent would normally be throwing a Hunter's Fury here to play off the contact of Jorgamo. And instead he's droning double doors because he's that worried about Les taking an aggro timing in the first 5 to 10 seconds of the round. So if you can't have your normal A defensive setups working because you're that afraid of the lurker through mid, you've got to change something.
Yeah.
You really do have to fundamentally shift your defensive setups. Josh isn't going to hit the panic button just yet, but they're down on another eco or like weird scrappy half buy. It's going to be another opportunity for, you know, Jorg or someone else to take some risk.
And G2, they were taking risks. It paid off for them. Still, we'll see how KRU end up tangling with this one. They've already earned themselves a nice and early kill. Allen going down. Rifle in the hands of Jorg as well. It's a lot to navigate if you are KRU.
Leaf choosing not to take that timing. They're clearing him out just in case he went for something aggressive. But this time there isn't as much chaos around the map. You know, they are a bit more in control of the round compared to the last time that G2 had a weaker buy.
They know that, right? Because last time, I mean, G2, they were just running a mockery, right? Deep pushes, a lot of risk being taken, it paid off, and it won them the round.
We can see pings over towards the A site from Crew. I'm wondering about these double thorns that are being placed at front site, whether they tangle anyone up.
Most of the pack is going to be going through double doors here, but they're being sliced up, split up by it. Let's see how Crew deal with it now. They're listening.
Vai sair. O Soma acabou de botar.
Eu já te falei, Dante. Você vai, eu treino. Boa bang, Caio. Pode enviar no cu ela.
Quer mais uma?
Quero mais uma.
Quer mais uma? Vou deixar a bala atrás de você aí.
Você tá
Ó,
louco?
flechei.
Nossa, sabe.
Mano, eu vou pegar o cara na faca, eu sou por isso. Peraí, deixa eu pensar. Aqui,
se você me pega.
Achei.
Não, aqui.
Achei.
Controla, velho. Nossa, plant tá horrível, velho.
Não, tá bom. Eu dei 72. Relaxa, tá muito longe. Quando ele faz o clique...
Well, listen, Leaf has somehow found himself in a 1v2, but rapidly approached now off onto the flank. The time ticking away, a lot to clear. And not a lot of time to do it. Up towards double doors, less once more being that thorn in their sides. And this guy, he's in the walls for them, and he's in their minds.
He's a beast. He absolutely is a beast. If you've got the rest of the team that are willing to put their bodies on the line so that Les can trade them out in spots like this, look at that. Dome's valid, and here there's two players with rifles. He walks through one of them, dismisses the second. Jorg and Baby Bay definitely could have been a problem for them to deal with on that A defense, but Crew navigated quite well and take back control of Breeze, even though G2 had that nice thrifty earlier on.
2-round lead. Great chance for them to cement it. They haven't explored over towards B much at all. Ice Wall could do a lot now. It's going to be stopping. Dante's going to be moving past this one, but the rest of the pack is going to be way ahead of him. And now we're going to see it. Hunter's Fury expended on the attacker's side here. MW looking to see if he can pave a way. It's awkward stuff. Nobody can really sit still and take these spikes, but Bebe does defend it, at least onto that avenue with Lester Ray Boss removed. Maybe there's a chance. Hunter's Fury their own. Shock dart to pound. Don't choke Angel this one. Love a panic attack, man. It's getting manic here. Jorgamo all the way onto the flank. That's a fast lane now. Ripping its way across. And why not a Reckoning? Throw it in. Already G2, they can square up here nice and safely. MW's going to do a lot from this spot, but stunned down from the grave. Players can't really trade in time. G2, hold on, tricky business. The plan is here for MW. Cove, though, will need to be spammed down. With it, his aim reset. He's just trying to see if he can square it and find it. Surely the Cove not being broken at all. It's a full stick with full safety in mind.
That final situation shows you the power of the Cove in the retake. That's why so many teams with the Harbor are playing a retake style on this map. If you get into a 1v2 like that, normally the offsite positioning is so good here on Breeze. But Cove in your face, you've got to expend the clip. You've got to put yourself out in the open to break it. And then Trent is constantly threatening that he could punish. Meanwhile, Valin is having a nice little time inside here.
Chama!
G2 coming out with a big one. Lots of ults expended. G2 needed to be able to win that one to stabilize the money. They are looking to try to play A main a bit more aggressive than we see from other teams in Americas.
Yeah, deep into two players immediately getting involved into the Cove.
Once again, Trent forced to drone over towards double doors on a really early timing. 15 seconds into the round and he's still looking for less.
Yeah,
like, where is this guy?
He's up and towards elbow.
Yeah.
Deep into Crew, bit of posturing. I think that's going to be used early on here. I mean, Valorant just lets this one rip. They're not going to have it for a B retake.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. Again, the Cove, though, actually is more important, and that's on a really fast refresh.
The Crew looking at end of towards B, but that is looking like Fort Knox right now. Leaf of a judge at the choke. Thorns on every direction. Double stars.
Baby Bay's got to be careful, though, that he doesn't poke out and expose himself to
one.
tunnel.
Ult's popped off, though. It's going to be blinded, deafened whatsoever. Leaf is just twirling around, looking for the targets. Finds two of them right when it mattered, but spammed down in the final few. Sadek does get that return. Trade intact, but already that deep insert less. It's just a menace now. Big reveal against the half four, but flanks on flanks, and Jorgamo already is up. Spotting out what these players might be. Util out, catching Sadek unaware. They know where Les's position was. He was pinged out a little bit earlier. Play this one solidly with discipline. Forwards again, but what is going on here? Losing track of where these players might be. Spike, irretrievable though. And so, peace of mind granted here for G2, dragging it back up level.
Second round in a row that Jorgamo has sprinted around on the flank retake and taken up this position in B window. Almost as the exec is coming through. He is there so early, way before the plant, 30 seconds on the clock, but
Spike down.
he's putting crazy pressure onto Sadak and NW as they're trying to get back into the site. Crew are going to take a timeout as G2 draws it level at 4-4. The defensive has been a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, no slowing down.
He is determined to get to London and face off against Vitality, I suppose. What a game that would be. Unfortunately, Sadak doesn't get to play against Karmine Corp.
No.
More's the pity.
Bit of an early take towards mid. Just open up the door, feigning like they could have multiple players lurking up, but it's just less. Feels like that guy is just multiple players packed into one sometimes. G2 trying to get a bit of a handle on it. Seems they can clear him out towards double doors. It's an important one. The way this fight might go.
Jorg is holding the right side of the door.
Yeah. Anticipating they could have crossed up. Orb. Giving that avenue less. Looking for a chance to take this fight, but the game of timing just slipping straight through. Jorgamo just in the aim in time. Is there for it. Now for the A split, these walls are going to be sent flying sky high. Cosmic Divide on top of it. Crew are forward still. Stunted only for a moment by the Thorns, and now looking to see if they can make their mark even further. Jorgamo is on an island here, but the counter spam pays off. At least the trade is there. The Cove not there in time to see if they can support it. Shock darts raining down.
Well, they can fall back and play this as a more traditional post plant now. No Cosmic Divide, no Cove. How do G2 play a really heavy retake style when they don't have their biggest tools for it?
Started towards the back to at least to try and stop them here, but these players are just holding it down. It's three of them. Open sight lines. Willing to opt in and out, peeling back into more defensive positions. Given access to the site, the spike is ticking. Time pressure mounting for G2. They've got to start to get a bit of a move on here, but he's shock dart sailing overhead. Baby Bay just inserts himself and announces himself to the conversation, but it matters not. It's MW to save today with a Red Bull clutch right when they needed it.
The time pressure forced G2 to get onto the retake. Otherwise, the trade may have been there. What a Red Bull clutch for MW. You see, though, that even in this round, even when Les gets punished right at the beginning, actually the defensive setups for G2 are not there on A. They really aren't. Valen is anchoring as a harbor, which is like a cardinal sin, in my opinion. It is a straight-up sliggy red card. Like, you are seeing so many teams across the world right now look for their weapons.
Good opportunity for Crew to be able to cement themselves a bit of a lead. Been playing against these ecos have had a bit of discipline after they lost that first one against G2 here. The stuns are reface, repeat, trying to fight and square up once more. G2. Cove's going to be activated. Sprayed and spammed down though. This is the hero rifle in the hands of Valen. He's really the one to do some damage here. Stuns a ricochet. Jorgamo just looking to play his IGL all the way in. Valen still alive, still intact. High Tide's going to be ripped his way across once more, but that's just to try and stop them at the choke point. It's not going to be enough to really stop Les. This guy's immediately trying to take that time, but that's just spam straight up. Yeah, okay.
Baby Bay has beamed his way down mid as well. He's on the flank so early.
This is what was paying dividends really for G2 all day long. Could it be the B retakes or not? Les, let's see what he can do now. He's slipping the net past these walls. He can play off some of the pressure. Listening for the sound cues right now, but the High Tides dissipate. And look at the discipline by G2.
If MW gets the plant, he's got a Hunter's Fury to play around, but Leaf and Valen both playing their lives.
It's ridiculous by Les. Push, and he hears it. The footsteps. What is that? Trent somehow gets a handle on it. Sadak though with a deep peek. Bebe taken out. Trent and Leaf. Left in a 1v2. It's MW is the one who's going to try and clutch up, trying to take that timing. Peeking past, but now peeling back. Barely any health to work with. A game of timing. So Dart, some false confidence given up to G2. Now a 1v1. It's Trent versus MW versus his adversary. Comes down to who hits the first shot. And his MW is a little bit sharper. Back-to-back clutches.
Incredible couple of rounds here from MW. When a lot of pressure has been hefted onto his shoulders, G2 on the verge of making a light-by-round work there. They played A main much more aggressively. They played for 2 opportunities to refight in with the stun. And they weren't worried about the mid play because Baby Bay was covering it. So, slight adjustment from Josh RT. See if that carries over into a rifle round as well. Instead, it looks actually like they're going to play A for retake. So instead of fighting A main, like they were on that eco, they're out.
Just jaw caught out there. Knife and a dart. He's got the operator. He's hoping, I think, to catch where Les has been. Lurking up through mid. The contact plays.
Back into another A hit, or at least A pressure from Crew.
This time there's really nobody home. I mean, you're just looking at Valent, willing to concede a lot of this space. A couple of stray shots, maybe, that he's able to pump in, but...
Well, this time we get to see G2 in a position to retake. Can Les do any damage to them before they get into that situation, actually?
This guy, he just knows the perfect timing, doesn't he? Here's it, the scurrying of the footsteps again, scuttling around, and nobody... Hold up! Jorgamo, seemingly aware, that sixth sense just kicking in. Hunter's Fury now, see if he can put a stop to it. Overdrive now going to be utilized, and Stun just going a little bit too short on the mark, but Sadak is going to be whittled down anyway. Electrocuted up onto the beach side, and now we see that main position being pressured and squeezed by the rest of G2. Pretty phenomenal stuff across the board.
Yeah, that's really impressive. If G2 are going to play every A retake like that, fair enough. The identification onto timing from Les.
What gave it away?
I think he's just picking up a timing. He's just thinking, right, well, you know, my teammates are about to scale. I don't really have a job to do. Might as well go and look at the flank.
One enemy remaining.
It's perfectly done. And the aggression from Crew, they've got a couple of, you know, KO flashes that they can use, but it came too early. And so G2, perfect position, perfect timing to go for that retake, and actually putting a bit of pressure on Crew's economy already.
Now, I mean, we're looking at the last round.
Yeah.
Scrap together whatever they can get. Sheriff, Stinger, Judge in the hands of Les. Spread out with the default, though. Not looking to all in just yet. It's a bit of a nightmare here, with a high tide cuts its way through, along with that one, the fast lane. Now we're going to see it. They cancel forwards. Yeah, they call for the cancel. Using a lot of ults in the process, though.
Yeah, they run away from the Steel Garden. Really, I'm looking at Les's ultimate. Sadak goes down, though.
Yeah, good adjustment.
If Les can get the pit down, it doesn't matter that you're working with lighter weapons. It's going to be really dangerous.
Fast reactions, though, by G2. They're going to be following the sound cues. Trail of noise has led them over towards this A side, up towards the back of the side, and ever since Shogun's got this operator, this guy, the difference maker in all of these scenarios. Yes, the pit is down, but it's a 2v5. Rifles are going to be spammed down, shredded at a moment's notice here. Individuality is what's required. Hunter's Fury now making it really quite uncomfortable. And a watchful eye with rifles in hand. G2 have got every single angle covered. There's nowhere to run whatsoever, nowhere to hide. Les has done so much up to this point, but can only do so much in the face of all of that. So G2, they find their way 6-6. We're seeing parity here to Lotus.
Yeah, another half that they've recovered. Again, a situation where they're constantly playing catch-up, but this time ended absolutely level at 6-6. Jorg's opping ended up being really impactful. I don't know why Silence is peeking before the pit, but either way, the value was there. G2 are one half away from being able to make it to Masters London. If they can put together a Crew, this is their first chance with visa issues plaguing them at kickoff. They had no opportunity to play at Santiago. Used the time well to be able to play against other squads down in Latin America and have brought serious form. But here today, might be missing in some important moments.
Wow, the aggro play and productivity. Hold on, this is absolute madness.
They fed themselves in the meat grinder.
I mean, ridiculous stuff, but G2, it's like they played straight into their hands.
They looked like they were ready and waiting for that pistol round.
Yeah. You know how Crew like to play MW. Crosshair placement just sent all over the place there from Jorgamo's movement. And yes, he might have given up his life for the cause, but the rest of his team happy to oblige and even it all the way out. A 1v4 for Les. See magic from him. He's going to need a little bit more than that. Spam down, spotted out. He's looking to see if he can ISO the fights as best as he can, but double it into the back of sight. Great shots tapping away, empty in the clip. G2 not willing to give too much away. Leaf is really just toying with him at this point. Tip tapping, seeing if they can just bleed out the clip, ensure that he has no bullets to play with. So G2 get that pistol round.
G2 could not have asked for a better pistol if they had mind-controlled Crew themselves into going in for this one. Into a multiplayer, like, crossfire 5-person setup.
Yeah, it's not something we touched on too much, but I think it is a readable tendency to Crew. They put in good work over the course of the group stage, but they love the proactivity on defense. They love the deep pushes.
They do love to push. There's many lanes on this map, though. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I didn't look at what the most recent Crew pistol round was, but you know, the last time that we saw Crew play Breeze, it was week 1 against Sentinels with a totally different comp.
Ago.
I can't imagine that that was any specific anti, but it looked like it. And now Crew are in a desperate situation.
Triple high-low. Only with the pistols. Spotting out where Les is, and might be able to narrowly escape that one. I think he's just found the pocket to play in.
Patience from Jorgamo as well. Pulls himself back in because he is the entry onto the B side for his team.
Jones not going to get that tag. Forwards approach now, but already the flank occurring. And only just being watched in time. What is that? Snap back to the side, Baby Bay. Drops down 2. The game of timings here. Les is already just inserting himself. Classic in hand. Does a bit of damage. Evens out in the end. 3-player survivor, G2.
Great ult priority as well. They've got Valen's Harbor online for their bonus round. They're giving him the ult orbs as they go over towards B. They're giving him the plant as well. And he's going to be able to have an ultimate that could generate a snowball here for G2 that Crew cannot stop. Got to see some of the ideas for Crew with this. Sonic says that they've been cooking. We need to see some evidence of it in this defense side. There is no guarantee that even though you are the #1 seed, you have more opportunities than this. This is your best chance at getting to London.
G2 stand their ground once more.
As do Crew, actually, looking to hard hold A main. Similarly to G2, we're used to these Americas teams playing retake a bit more than this. But on a timing, MW0 gives up double doors, and that's going to diffuse this trap in A main.
Anticipating. Going to be broken. Clearance into it. The wall's going to be whipping its way around here to cause a couple of issues, but giving up open access really towards the back of sites and pyramids. Crew entirely off site here. The plant's going to be going down without too much of a problem.
Yeah, they just had to give that up. Had to give a lot of respect to Valen's ultimate. And Crew look to play retake.
You can see it long range with the shock keys sent flying overhead here. High forwards, flashes, ricocheting around, blinded up into the corner. Jorg now trying to be that first line of defense. What is that adjustment? Snap back! Dante just transfers and collects up 3 kills in a blink of an eye. Crew find all the targets and more. Round on the board, desperately needed.
That's a beautiful retake from Crew. Both of those flashes from Silence, really nice. The first one just to take a bit of space. The second one properly to put the squeeze on those players in the normal post-plant positions. Look at how blind Trent was there. And they've done the Storm Surge in earlier on to near side Jorgamo, so cascading different flashes in over and over again. Often in a retake scenario like that on A, the team that makes the first aggressive move wins. G2 didn't really have an idea of how they wanted to push themselves in the post-plant. So in the end, Crew get it done.
Just a 1-round difference here. Crew fighting to stay alive here in a match that is so damn important.
And fighting mid in this round as well.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Really heavy emphasis. And a flash peek. We're going to try to catch anyone who might be lurking down here. Leaf in a really deep position, though. Doesn't give away his life.
Yeah, meanwhile, G2 all the way up through into the B side. A high tide could be used to try and split up most of this side. And Crew are waiting into the wings now. Flash is ready. Underhand potentially. And still we'll see if Crew can collect up these kills. Carnage occurring towards the back. The 2v3 here. Guns in their hands, looking to see if they can take that peak in the game of timings. Crosshair placement wasn't there for MW. Still, 2v2, Storm Surge going to miss. Kovis up now, and that needs to be spammed down. Half onto it already with a defuse. Sadak might have earned it, Baby Bay! Returns anyway, fires straight back, shuts it down against the opposing IGL.
Just a little bit better in the moment than mattered. Had a better gun for the job as well.
Yeah.
Baby Bay closes things with the 1v1 clutch and keeps G2 at a lead, 9-7. That time it was brutal for MW. He was just looking in the wrong direction. And of course you got a player trying to defend Sadak as he just sticks inside the cove. Couldn't get the job done. I mean, similar expressions from both of the coaches there.
Pressure is immense.
Yeah. G2 go back over towards B. Really similar positioning from the team as they open up this round compared to the previous. This is an interesting position for the Vice wall, all the way deep down here, just letting you know if Dante pushes out behind.
My ult is ready.
Drone just bait out the knife. Doesn't really get what they were looking for necessarily, but Trent does have the ult now to play with.
Yeah, it looks like they want to go back over and push Dante off that line. Vice wall hasn't been tripped, so they know he's not running around behind them in spawn somewhere, but got to try to push it backwards.
Jump peeking, not punished for it. Dante gets a lot of good information there.
How do you get through here without the drone? I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, that's a question. Do have some tools you could use, but a bit of spam into the corners. Goal being broken means it's going to be dissipating. Hold on, Dart. What I landed onto Dante now, going to be sending it flying forwards. These are open sightlines now, could be anyone's game. Hunter's Fury again to supplement G2. Looking to see if they can pave a way, but it goes both ways, and MW just gets the better of it. Still G2 have the rifles in hands, and Dante spinning, twirling, just see if he can escape. Most of that one hit. A nail-biter of a shot there, but he didn't have the weapon at hand to really do the damage that it deserved. Less now. Straggling back into this fight. It's a 1v3, and one just hits that one. Okay, Leaf is just taken out. Quick reaction times. Leaf once more matters into his own hands. Less steadily making his way forwards. Taking the right risks here, but open sight line towards the back of the site. The double push of G2 pays off.
They went for the wrap, and for a moment there, I thought they'd lost him.
Yeah.
Can't give Les any openings like that. He's still on for a kill per round. His individual form has been monstrous, but G2, as a team, are powering through this game and grinding out the rounds that matter. That was the phrase that Desk used on Lotus, and I've got to agree, it feels the same here again. Every time it matters for G2 to be able to win around and push KRU down onto a weaker bar. Hero to come alive here, KRU. Because slowly, bit by bit, G2 are just grinding them down.
Just choking the life out of them.
There.
Proactive plays on defense. Normally so core to the KRU's playbook. This time, dissipated, swatted down by G2 quite handedly. So,
well, G2 were holding a really slow, passive position for the first 10 seconds of this round. Maybe expecting Dante to be sprinting at them somewhere.
Just sending it flying forwards here. There's no smokes. Jorgamo's just looking to attract as much attention as humanly possible. The high tide does rip its way through. Let's see how G2 handle all of this.
I'm stunned. Mid door, guys.
Fight right.
Base right. Two. Tuck soon. We have hard roll.
Hold here.
Let it go. They're gonna break it. Let's face right. Mid doors. Two yellow. We gotta fight through this. Wait. Break the cove. Help Nate. Mid door on me. Fast. Good. Nate, me next. Tuck Nate. Both mid.
One enemy remaining.
He's here. Beta. Face right. Just play. We have him. Just hold. You guys are good. Don't even try. What the body? What the fuck? Chama, boys. Hey.
I love the way that they are calling for each other to face on different angles together. I mean, they're really coordinated in terms of giving each other command calls of face right, face left, help Nate. You know, making sure that everybody's aligned and on the same page in terms of how they're taking these double swings together. And you don't have to count down every single time. G2 are just, they're in sync. They've played together for a long time, this squad. Moving pieces in and out with BabyBay being the most recent addition, but things are looking good for another opportunity for BabyBay to show himself at a global tournament.
Yeah, a bit of vindication as well for a player like him, because he's had hot form in Americas all year long. It was just Santiago where he couldn't make it count, the rest of G2 as well. Now, potential there. Just 2 rounds is all they need, and already sending it flying forwards. A bit of an upset in terms of the expectations towards his B side, and KRU, they're just not ready for it. Less.
He's waiting for the flash.
He's waiting for the flash, but the timing's just too fast. I mean, Jorgamo's way ahead of it. Silence might have just caught a glimpse of all of this now. Forwards, but Jorgamo is just running a mockery once more towards the back of this side. Finally, shut down. It might be too little too late. No plant down, though, for G2. They bide their time with patience, but they're just waiting for the insert, and BabyBay is going to be picking them apart now from the sidelines. This guy asserting himself, finding all sorts of value kills, flooding into his name. Sadak will be removed in the end. 12 rounds now for G2. 1 more to make it to London.
Valin hollers across the stage. He realizes at this point, I think, that they've broken KRU. Look at the coordination here. KRU are all over the place. Too slow to be able to set up the plays that they're looking for. And in the midst of the chaos, the G2 players understand what's going on. KRU are lost. It would take now 5 rounds in a row for KRU to recover this. Frustration on their side of the stage. They were the team that came into this bracket only needing a single win.
Yeah.
G2, they have dominated this half.
Prime form is what G2 have found themselves in right when it matters most for this playoffs. One more round is all it'll take. Already early ult's going to be offloaded. KRU just looking to see if they can put a stop to this one to stay alive in the process. Jorgamo dropped off early. Cosmic Divide now to cut this one up. G2 looking to see if they can hold KRU at bay, but as smokes on smokes, walls on walls. It's an awkward situation and an awkward engagement. It's a good nade, push back balance position, but another smoke replaces another. Already still KRU are being completely slammed shut out of this fight. All the way forwards, Valen, what a transfer! Unless the sole recipient of it all can't do it all. 13-7, and that ticket to London booked for G2. Another chance of redemption is theirs for the taking.
You could have written their name on